Hey, what's up everybody? It's Star Alliance Man here, and today I have another airport update for the month of November. This is going to be a airport update for the Southern California airport that I have. So I haven't done an update in a couple months. Very excited to do it. Just been a little bit busy over the past couple months, but hope everybody is having a good fall and into the winter. We do have some new additions to the airport, so very excited to show you that. Everything else is pretty much in the same shape. One small change you'll notice since the last update is we don't have kind of an extension area where, we had like an extension of this terminal and, we had some more gates and stuff like that. So it's going to be kind of the smaller version that we used to have for most of the time. And it's just great to get all the aircraft back out on here and just really excited to show you guys. So anyways, we will start with the basic terminal here at the front. This is going to be the entrance terminal for everybody to come into the airport. You'll see we don't have any ground service equipment this time, just because it was just made, it just made things way longer. So I just was able to get things done a little quicker without the ground service equipment. But usually we'd have buses and transit, vehicles and stuff like that would come pick you up here. And then we go into the first terminal. So a couple changes to this one. We have Delta parking at this terminal this time, along with, Air Canada. We have a few other carriers here as well. So let's just jump in first with the Air Canada A220-300. This aircraft is going to be doing a service to Toronto. Next to that, this is the NG models Delta A321. This is a service to Atlanta. We have the Delta A220-100 with a service to Salt Lake City. The Delta 737-800 in the SkyTeam livery, also by NG models, with a service to Minneapolis. We have the JetBlue A321neo with a service to Fort Lauderdale. And then we have a new model. This is the NG 737-800 of Southwest in the Freedom One livery. Absolutely, stunning model. Very happy to have this. And this is going to be doing a service to Dallas Love Field. Next to that, we have the Illinois One 737-700 of Southwest with a service over to Denver. So that kind of just wraps up the first terminal. Then we kind of move into the second one here, so you can easily access this terminal by going underground through some escalators and just easily straight through. So we can see mainly United is operating out of this terminal. We do have a couple Star Alliance carriers as well. An interesting story about this Lufthansa A330-300, which is also another NG model. This particular aircraft had a mechanical issue yesterday, so it was supposed to do the Frankfurt service, but unfortunately got a little held up, so it's going to be delayed till today. Hopefully everything works out okay, but this is the Lufthansa A330-300 with a service to Frankfurt. Next to that, we have the Singapore Airlines. This is the A350-900 with a nonstop service to Singapore. Up next, we have a couple regional gates. It's kind of a, mess with the taxi lines here, so we can fit, a bunch of different aircraft, at different times. But right now, we have a couple regionals, notably the CRJ 200, just doing a quick service to Fresno, and then the United Express E175 with a service to Vail, Colorado. And I'll just move over here for the 757-200. This is going to be in the Herart here livery for California with a nonstop service to Chicago O'Hare. Up next, we have the United 737-700. This is also an NG model, relatively new, but just doing a quick service over to Denver. Up next, we have the 767-300 of United doing a nonstop service to Maui in Hawaii. And then we have the 737-800 here with a service to Chicago O'Hare. Actually, no, we already did Chicago. Let's give this guy Dallas. Then we have another 737-800 with a service to Houston. And then lastly, a United A319, just doing a quick hop over to Portland, Oregon. So just not too many unique destinations. The terminal would usually be a little bit larger for United since they're kind of, the biggest carrier here at the airport. They have a little focus city going, but just kind of wrap up, some of the most of those aircraft there. We also have some aircraft taxiing as well, so I'll just get to those right now. We have the 737-800 again of United. So yeah, the third one of this in the new livery, just coming in right now from Seattle. Up next, we have a United A319 as well, just coming in from Las Vegas. And then we actually have an old livery, 737-800 here, just arriving from Honolulu. So then we'll jump into the international terminal. So this one also houses American and Alaska, but other than that, it's going to have every other foreign carrier that we have at the airport. You can see all four of the big wide body gates are taken right now. So we have, firstly, I'll start off with the 787-9 of Xiamen Air. or Xiamen Airlines, with a nonstop service to Xiamen in China. Just a really interesting aircraft and interesting airline as well. So happy to have them at the airport. Next to that is actually a brand new carrier. This is the Bamboo Airways 787-9. You might have heard of them. They're doing a couple of services to LA and San Francisco. So brand new, just inaugurated that service recently, and very happy to have them here at the airport as well, with a service to Ho Chi Minh City or Saigon in Vietnam. Up next, we have the Japan Airlines. This is the 787-9 with a service to Tokyo and Narita. This aircraft is also made by NG models. So, you know, I did used to have a Phoenix Model 1, but this is replaced with now NG. They just do a better job, you know, on these Dreamliners without, you know, the flaps and the wing flex and stuff like that. So really happy to have this as well. Up next, we have the Philippine Airlines. This is the A350-900 with a service to Manila. You can see we had a bit of a Asian theme going on today, just because it's kind of the mid to late morning period. So, you know, we do have mostly Asian departures right now. We do get some more European stuff later, beginning in the mid-afternoon, before those airlines head back to their respective countries. So, moving on to the rest of this terminal, we have a pretty packed scene here. So it's all Alaska and American. I'll start off with the relatively new 737-900. This is for Alaska Airlines in the One World livery, of course. This aircraft is actually doing a service over to Anchorage. And next to that, we have another 737-900. I believe this is the NG Model 1, so kind of a newer release, just doing a typical service to Seattle. Up next, we have a American A321. This is going to be in the Stand Up to Cancer livery. Really cool livery, of course. Quick service to Dallas, Fort Worth. Next to that, an Alaska E175 with a service to San Francisco. Next to that, we have a American CRJ 700, but it's painted in the Sky West livery, doing a service to Salt Lake City. Up next, we have an American 737-800. This is going to be in the One World livery, doing a quick service to Chicago O'Hare. And next to that, we have the Frontier, lastly, the A321CO, doing a service to Denver, of course. So that's going to wrap up most of the aircraft parked at the terminal. We'll just cover a couple more of these as well, just taxiing. We have another Southwest. This is the 737-700, I think by Panda models, just wearing the typical new livery these days, coming in from Houston Hobby. Up there, we have the Viva Airbus A320CO, doing a service to Guadalajara. And then I'll kind of wrap around here to get some of the aircraft on the cargo stands. So we just have 3 models there right now, 2 kind of really heavy jets, and then we have, typical 767 here. So we'll start with the Kalita/DHL 767-300 doing a service to Cincinnati. Up next, we have the 747-400. Now, this is also a new model. This is actually the blank 747-400 freighter. So, this is made by JC Wings. They usually release these if people want to add their own decals to create a livery that hasn't been made yet. It's interesting because there's actually a couple of these, I think, flying around that don't have a livery, so they are actually blank. So I just kind of wanted one of those where I just left it blank. And so this is what you get, the 747-400 freighter, just completely blank, operating for, Atlas or, someone like that, doing a few cargo runs. And then next to that, lastly, is the Cargo Lux. This is the 747-8 freighter. You can see it's got a couple, ground service equipment attached. So we do have these new cargo loaders and stuff like that kind of give us some more height. So very cool aircraft doing a nonstop service to Luxembourg. Up next, we have a Spirit, just a quick A320neo doing a service to Atlanta, Georgia. And then up next, we have the Hawaiian A330-200 doing a service to Honolulu. And then we'll just wrap up here. We have a couple more aircraft just going to be lining up for the runway. So the Aeromexico 737-800 with a service to Mexico City. Behind that, the Saudia. This is the 787-9. Very, very interesting aircraft. This one also made by NG, doing a service to Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. And then behind that, we have the Delta A330-900neo. This aircraft doing a service to Tokyo, Haneda. And then on the stands, we just have, a United 787-10, just because I told you it's kind of a focus city for them. So they have some aircraft parked around here. We have a C-17 just kind of randomly here, for some sort of service. We have the United 737-800 in the Star Alliance livery, also getting a little bit of maintenance done. The United 787-9, this aircraft came in from Sydney, Australia earlier this morning. So it's just going to be sitting on the ramp for a little bit before heading back there tonight. Same here with the American 777-200, but this aircraft is going to be heading to Shanghai pretty soon, so just waiting for a gate at the moment. And then lastly, we have the Qantas 787-9. This aircraft also coming in from Australia early this morning, so just sitting on the ramp before heading back to Sydney later tonight. And then lastly, we have an aircraft actually on the runway here. This is the LATAM 787-9. This aircraft just arriving from Santiago, so pretty late actually. This aircraft usually gets in kind of early morning if we just take Los Angeles, as an example. So this aircraft usually gets in, 6 or 7 a.m. So a little bit late this morning, but just had a few delays. But here it is, the LATAM 789 coming in from Santiago. And then up next, we have the Fedex MD-11 freighter, just doing a typical flight over to Memphis. We do have a hangar here as well, just currently have some special visitors, including the C-32 right now, getting a little bit of service, kind of undercover, confidential. And then we have the DHL 738 as well, just getting a little bit of maintenance done. So that's really gonna wrap up this update, guys. I know it's a little bit shorter than usual, but I hope to be getting back to, kind of full service updates within the next couple months. It's just a typical busy fall period, as I'm sure everyone's going through. So other than that, really excited for the new year, have some new travels coming up as well. Thank you so much for following, and thank you so much for all the kind comments. I hope everybody has a great rest of their week, and thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.